Hello, everyone. This is Joe Langton with Automating Success Show, and this is
Julia Langton.
and this is George and Katie. I'll let you guys completely introduce yourself first and last name because I don't like to have the risk of butchering anything. But in the meantime, before you guys fully introduce yourself, we like to have people pick a song on this podcast, and I want you guys to explain the song you picked and why you picked it.
Okay. So my name is Dr. George Holmes. I'm CEO of Hire Henry. We provide commercial landscapers with heavy-duty robotic lawnmowers. So we're going to talk a little bit about what our background is throughout the podcast, of course, but a lot of background in developing research robotics, autonomous robots, decided to get into the landscaping industry, did a lot of mowing and cutting in my younger days with my grandfather.
So my name is Katie Moreno Bonnet. I'm actually from Colombia, South America. I'm a mechanical engineer and I'm the CEO of Hire Henry. George explained a little bit what we're doing, and I've been part of it for a while now. So yeah, and I think with regard to the question about the song, we picked this song due to the current circumstances, pandemic, socially, everywhere. I think everything is going a little bit chaotic. And we have a wall saying, my aunt says all the time, she told me growing up, Katie, everything in life have a solution except death. And this song really reminds me of that. Like, don't worry, everything will be fine at the end of the day as far as things go. So it's pretty interesting.
That's a great attitude to have. I think we are completely aligned in that. Julia and I feel the same way. There's a lot of chaos going on, but one thing that we know is, time seems to heal all, if you look at it like that. And, you got to move on and take a look at past mistakes and make a better future. That's the way I look at life, So yeah. So we're going to talk a lot about where we're at currently, but we always like to learn about the younger ourselves, right? So whichever one of you guys wants to start first with the younger version of you and how you got here, what inspired you to be sitting in the chairs across on this beautiful Zoom call podcast we have, get us a general background that gets us to present day.
Okay. So in high school, I actually went to two high schools, one for academics and a different vocational school where I studied auto mechanics. And really fell in love with working on Honda cars and doing a lot of maintenance and repairs on those. And my goal was to graduate from high school and go to a post-secondary vocational school where I could then become like a master mechanic and work for Honda, repairing their cars. And my grandma said, well, why don't you consider engineering? If you go into engineering, you can design cars. And applied for Missouri S&T, which is in Rolla, Missouri, and got into the mechanical engineering program, and I got my dream job, Joe. I got a job working for Honda up in Columbus, Ohio, where they produce all the Honda CRVs and Honda Accords. And I got in there, I learned a lot, especially about robotics. They use a lot of robotics on the manufacturing line. But came back to Missouri S&T and decided I wanted to get into something different. And I was really enjoying this idea of robotics. So started looking at different research opportunities in research robotics and got an opportunity to do some research and fell in love with the field. And I thought back to my younger days when I used to cut grass with my grandfather and thought about the drudgery involved with cutting the grass and said this could be a perfect application for robotics.
Yeah. So, I think my upbringing was different than yours. Actually, I went to high school like all my life in Colombia. In Colombia, we only have 11 years of high school, like all the way to school to end. And I was about to enter my last year, and I got offered a scholarship to play basketball in a high school down in Wichita, Kansas. So I went there and I started playing basketball and stuff. Did the next 2 years there. I finished my high school, I graduated, and it was time to move on. I actually wanted to be in the Air Force, in Colombian Air Force, of course. I wanted to be a pilot. So, I came to the US and I like it. So I was like, well, I cannot be part of the US Air Force since I'm not from here. So I decided to go to college. I got an offer to play basketball again for a JUCO up in Kansas City, and I just started studying aerospace engineering because my dream was to be a pilot. So I was like, close enough. I designed the airplanes at the end of the day. I cannot fly them, but I can design them. So I played 2 years there, and then I found a school down in a little town called Rolla, Missouri, to play basketball. And that they can pay me, and they had my major. That was the other complication: finding aerospace engineering. So finally, I got here, and it didn't last more than a year after I changed to mechanical engineering, and I met George actually. And he was like part of the move because he showed me what was robotics and all this other cool stuff. I actually did research with him prior to that. And then I was like, yeah, forget about aerospace. I'm going mechanical, which is pretty cool. So here we are. And here I'm sitting down now. I played 4 years of college basketball, and now I'm done with that.
So first of all, you two are both very impressive people. First, you said you went to 2 high schools. I've never heard such a thing before, so that's kind of crazy in itself. And then to hear how you ended up in the United States through basketball and the scholarships. I mean, that's like that's a dream in itself for so many people. So I'm quite impressed. So hats off to both of you. So what was it that made you realize, that said, okay, forget the aerospace thing, and I'm going to get into mechanical engineering. Explain how George inspired you to say changing it all, because that's the way I see it from this side. What happened,
Yeah, he was little settled about it. I was aerospace, and I applied actually for research. I didn't get accepted into it. So I already met George. We were friends already, and I told him about it. Like I was interested into like research and doing stuff. And by accident that semester, just pure accident, I took a programming class to program stuff. Actually, that was for computer science majors. It wasn't for me. It was a pure mistake. I just pushed through the situation. But I was sure and completely that as soon as I finished the semester, I would have never seen this again. I hated it with a passion. Hated it. So I told George that I was interested in research, that I was looking this and that. And he said, oh, okay. He helped me sending some emails to some professors and stuff. Then one day, I'm not kidding you, he texted me. It was not the best day, to be honest, but he saved the day that day saying, Katie, I have an idea for you. Can you come tomorrow to my office? And I was like, I get it. What he can say. I was going through a lot of personal problems at that moment. And so I went the next day. I was like, I had nothing to lose. It was finals week. I want to phrase that. It was finals week.
Yeah, those are rough.
Yeah, so it was rough. It wasn't the best moment to meet with him. And he said, Katie, I have this project. He make it sound super simple, super easy. Like, I've got this research for you if you're interested. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is for a programmer. This is for a person that knows how to code. I am not the best. I'm not suited for this. I cannot do it. And I keep like pushing him, like, you need to find somebody better, not me. So he was like, no, I think you'll be fine. It's super simple, super easy. So he just gave me one, like, it make it sound super simple. One little work there. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I had to transfer some programming language and stuff. So after a week, I come back to him and I tell him, hey, George, I'm sorry for the time that it took me, but here goes. Here is the project. Here, I give him back the project that he requested. It was all programming, nothing to do with aerospace, nothing to do with nothing that I have learned. More than that, one mistake of class I took. So he was like, whoa, I didn't expect you to finish this. This was the project for the whole summer, for the upcoming summer. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad. I really didn't know that was the case to me. So then he started giving me more, and I ended up doing quite a lot of research that summer. We actually connected some cameras, high-speed cameras, actually the ones cameras that they use for 2K, like NBA 2K and Mayhem and all of those video games. I programmed those cameras and collect all the data for position data that George later on used into his PhD, right?
Yep.
His thesis.
Yep. So I'll just add a little bit to that real quick. I had started my PhD program already, and when Katie told me about some of her interests in research, I talked to my advisor and I said, let's try to carve out a project that can be good and give some good experience here, both for me from a like high level management type perspective, and like I knew Katie would figure it out, and then she could teach me. So I felt like I could learn two things at once. And like she said, we gave her the project and she had it figured out within a week. Mind you, it's finals week. She had basketball. She had all this stuff going on. She had it figured out within a week, and I was highly impressed. So that's when we said, okay, let's find more projects. Let's keep working. And then we started talking about the landscaping industry, and we ended up getting a grant through the National Science Foundation, which I know we're going to talk about in a bit.
Yeah, so then after that, after doing all that summer, all that research into mechanical engineering and stuff, and robotics, I was like, this doesn't sound that bad. And George made one question I will never forget. He asked me one day as we were walking and talking about the project, he said, Katie, do you like aerospace engineering or you like the name of it? So as I walk of it, I'm like, no, I like airplanes and stuff. I answered back to him, like, this is my thing. And he was like, name me one airplane. I was like,
Yeah, he really called you out there, I think, in a subtle way, but yeah, you know.
Yeah, so I didn't say nothing back. I was like, I'm letting go. And throughout the whole summer and that semester, I entered into one more semester of aerospace. I keep thinking about that question in the back of my mind. And then I was like, this is it. I need to go mechanical. This is not for me.